Hi, Jack.
Hi, Sam.
Wow.
Blimey, she's a scatterbrain, isn't she?
You can't say that.
Okay. She said it herself.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. No, I wasn't too sure to make of that, but yeah.
That was...
It's quite a story, isn't it?
She is...
Sorry, just to introduce, this is the introduction. We just had Marika on. And she told us her story and some of the things that she's been through in her life, and that's really quite a it's quite a powerful episode. Really, she's come a long way in her life, and
she's not had much luck.
No, she really, even now she's struggling quite a bit. There's a lot going on, but she lives each day as it comes, doesn't she? It's just very much.
That was her words,
I asked her like what her plans were, and she was like, "Well, I'm just getting through this week."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, actually, that is generally how she is. That's why she kind of doesn't
think too far ahead."
No, she doesn't, because she can't. There's always stuff going on.
Yeah.
But no, that was an amazing episode. Really, really good.
And I love Marika. I do.
How long have you known her for?
Just since the dips, beginning of the dips, she got involved, and she set up the GoFundMe. She rallied people together, and she became a big member of the team. She was brilliant right at the start of it. Without her and a few others, I generally don't think it would have been as successful as it has been.
Will you stop picking your arm?
Look, you're not my dad. Okay, sorry, I'll stop picking. Dad.
You're going to end up with like a big red mark.
You're going to end up with a big red mark in a minute, man. I'm joking. God, I scared myself then.
Yeah, really scary.
You're right.
Really scary. Quivering in my boots.
I am actually quivering in my boots.
Why?
Because I'm round. I put on weight again. And I've got to climb a mountain.
Sam. Like, I mean, how long? When was it? When we last go? When we go to see Harry?
Oh no, that was a while ago. We're going on Monday to climb Ben Nevis.
We planned as soon as we got back from that.
I got COVID for a third time, and I got fat again while I was off.
It was a week.
I ate a lot in a week.
You can't go that much off the rails in a week, Sam.
I have. I feel bad for you.
Why?
Because you've got to carry me up the mountain.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
How are you going to carry your bag and mine? I don't know.
I'll figure it out. To be fair, the last time we went, I went with my mates from work, and we all got up there. I carried an extra bag for a little bit of it as well.
Oh, good.
That's fine. It's all right. I'm a bit concerned about the weather, though.
Are you? If you're concerned, I'm petrified.
I was just trying to add to your fears.
Yeah. There is meant to be like
I've heard there is rain-wise, the weather's not going to be great next week.
Shall we call it off?
Mate, this is your challenge. I'm there to help. I've been up there twice already.
Yeah, I was thinking, can I not just borrow one of your pictures from the top?
No.
Alright, fair enough.
Just my hand at the top there.
I am going to get up that mountain. I'm going to touch the summit.
Yeah, but my concern is like, you'll drive me mental, because we'll be like a fifth of the way up, and you'll go, "Oh, I don't think I can do any more." Is that the top? That better be the top, Jack?
I threw a little hissy fit at the last mountain we climbed, didn't I? Yeah.
We're about halfway.
Right, that last mountain we done.
Nothing.
How much taller is Ben Nevis?
Like at least another third taller.
So it's not twice as big.
No. I mean, that was about 900. It was 900 metres or something like that high, the last one we done, and whereas Ben Nevis is like 1300 and something, or nearly 1400.
Piece of piss. That'd be easy. Why are you looking at me like that? Do you genuinely think I'm going to struggle?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Ye who have little faith.
Just because climbing a mountain is hard.
For you.
When the weather's shit, that's when your morale will dip.
Not mine, mate. I'm an animal.
Jesus.
just a shame it's a pig.
Oh my god.
No, we'll be fine. Trust me. My morale is going to be up there.
Yeah. Generally.
100%.
Okay. Alright, fair enough.
I guarantee I'll get to the top of that summit. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even if you start seeing people coming down the mountain saying it's too dangerous, it's too windy up there, you need to turn back.
Oh, hang on. Is that not? Is that what happens? Is it?
That happened to me on Snowdon.
Did you go up still?
Yeah, of course it did.
What? People turned around and said to you that it's too dangerous. You've got to go back.
Yeah.
Who are these people? Do they work on the mountain?
Just other people. There were other people doing the mountain.
What? And they told you've got to go back?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it depends what sort of figure this person looks like. If they look like a proper mountaineer,
Yeah.
and they come down and went, it's really dangerous.
So I don't pay attention to those people.
Okay.
I like to judge things by my own abilities and what I can see and what I can do.
That's where I've got a problem, because whenever I've judged things on my own abilities in the past, it's landed me in a lot of trouble.
Well, look, at the end of the day, I'll be going up that mountain. I've got to do it anyway because it's part of my challenge that I'm doing.
I'm going up the mountain. It's not going to be easy. All joking aside, it's not going to be easy,
No,
right?
it's not.
And it is going to be challenging, but that's the whole point of a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
I ain't going all the way up there to fail. So, whatever the weather, we will touch the summit. I promise you that.
Yeah. So I'm off tomorrow. I'll start my adventure. So I'm off to Birmingham tomorrow. I'll work my way up towards Scotland over a couple of days, and then I'll meet you and Rob up there on Monday. So please, can you tell everyone what our plan or itinerary is, please? Because I've asked you for the last 3 months, and up until this point, I still don't know.
Because you keep saying itinerary. I thought you meant like a bit of equipment or something. I don't know what that word means. Like,
What's the itinerary then?
The what?
What's the plan?
Why don't you just say plan? Me and Rob are getting picked up in the itinerary. At 5. No, Rob's picking me up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday.
Okay.
And we're heading straight to Harry's.
Okay. Then what's happening?
And then we're going to have an early night.
Right.
And then we're going to go out to Ben Nevis.
And what's the town there called at Ben Nevis?
I don't know. Jack?
You have to know because you've got to put it in your sat nav, haven't you?
Well, no, because you're going to be with us then. What?
This is your plan, Sam.
No, this is our plan, Jack. No, don't leave nothing like that up to me because we'll never get there. You know where you're going.
Tuesday morning, early. We're
going to Ben Nevis.
Yeah.
We're going to climb the mountain.
Yeah.
Quickly run back down it.
Yeah.
Jump in the lake, in the lock the next morning.
Okay. Well, you just skipped from getting back down Ben Nevis to the next morning.
Yeah, well, then we go back to Harry's.
Yeah.
Early
night.
I reckon we'll need one.
Yeah.
It might be a late night. Depends how long it takes us to climb the mountain. If we need to set off early the next morning.
Good. I'm glad you got a plan.
Yeah, we are. We're setting off early doors, like early doors. I want to get to the bottom of that mountain for about 6:30, and it's going to take about an hour and a half to get to the mountain from where we're at. So we need to leave early, and then Jack, you can't do that on our podcast.
Why would you say that to me when that was actually you?
Swear on your mum's life.
You win.
Checkmate.
Carry on.
Then we're going to do the podcast with Matey Boy up there the next day. I spoke to Harry today.
Matey Boy?
The hermit who's lived in the wilderness.
Okay, and his name is?
The Hermit. I just told you that.
What, the one that the documentary was on?
Yeah.
What are we going to take him?
That's a good idea. What would you take a hermit?
Well,
some tin food.
Well, I saw Harry took him like a big box of like food and bits and pieces. So
yeah.
I think it's ideal that we would take something as well because we're going to see him and chat to him and whatnot.
Yeah.
He does know. Have we got like Harry to take us there or someone?
Yeah,
to take us there?
Harry's going to take us up there.
Well, I thought Harry said that he wasn't going to be there.
No, Harry is going to be there until the Thursday or Friday. Don't worry, it's all in hand. It's my plan, remember?
You want to just confirm that he's actually going to be there? Put it in the group chat.
He's going to be there.
He can't. He said he couldn't do Ben Nevis with us, didn't he?
Yeah, he's there until Thursday.
Okay.
And then he's going to Portugal. Enjoy the episode with Marika.
Like and subscribe on all of our platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Dare to Talk. I am Jackie Boy Shep on Instagram.
I am dare_2_dip on Instagram.
You always laugh when you say that.
It's the look you give me, like your head bobs up and down, like you're going along with what I'm saying.
Okay. So yes, please ask to join the Dare to Dip Facebook group as well. Every morning there's a group down there. They're great, aren't they, Sam?
Yes, they are.
Awesome group of people.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get down to the dip tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, so please enjoy the episode with Marika.
What, Jack?
Hi, Sam.
I'm Sam.
Go on.
And you're Jack.
Go on.
And this is Dare to Talk. Today we've got Marika. Marika, thank you for coming on. This is going to be a fucking mental story because I know you don't know much about Marika, do you? Marika, I just want to put it out there. It's been a massive help when it comes to Dare to Dip. She set up the GoFundMe. She come in and paddled once or twice.
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
Who's counting?
Me. I cried every time.
You are one of the most interesting characters I've ever met in my life. You're a lovely person, but you've had a shit time.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. Like, I was writing down on my phone when you asked me to do this. I was like, yeah, great, I love talking. And then 10 minutes later I was thinking, oh shit, no, wait a minute, I don't like talking about me. And that's when it kind of made me realise, like, everything that I've been through. I started writing notes on my phone of what to talk about, and I thought, I was like writing lyrics to a sad song, and I suddenly thought, what the fuck, this is not me. And I started like just turning it around and do what I always do, don't I? Everything bad happens, I just laugh about it and
make a joke of it. Yeah,
I always have little power naps, get up, start again.
Yeah,
that's just what I've always done, really, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got so much to talk about because you've had cancer, which has led to other health problems because you had a stroke and now you've got diabetes as well, and that's all come from the cancer, hasn't it?
It all started when I had Maya, my little girl. She's now 12.
Yeah.
So at 22 I gave birth, and then 6 months after you get your first smear test, and normally I wouldn't have got it until I was 25. Then when those results came back, it was a bit difficult. You don't really think that it ever happened to you, and luckily the grade was so low, they were just like, don't worry, just come in, we'll give you an operation, get rid of it. Unfortunately, when I went for an operation, it was worse than they thought. They had to go up to my mum and say, what do you want us to do? Because obviously she's asleep on the operating table. Do you want us to carry on? Or my mum obviously just said, do what you want. Whether she loves me or not, I'm not sure yet. And then after that, I had my checkup, and it's still there. So they basically removed, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak about like gross stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Like, they basically removed my cervix, but I can still conceive naturally, which is good. And then I was kind of fine. I've had a million operations in between on like my bowel, my throat. Like, it's been such a journey growing up.
What cancer was it?
It's always been cervical.
Cervical cancer.
But then when everything was fine, I remember just, everything kind of happened so quickly. And to be honest, it's not that scary because you don't either remember it or everyone else is doing the thinking and the worrying for you. You just kind of sit there and everything floats.
So you wasn't really present in the moment. It was just a bit.
And because it hadn't spread anywhere, I was thankful it hadn't gone to my nose. It was literally just in the cells of my cervix. So realistically, it's like the best kind of cancer you could have. And even I make say that in such a jolly way, like, oh my god, I had the best cancer. Like, I don't know, it's just weird, but
you also had a child at the same time.
Yeah, that was really hard because I couldn't stand up to go for a wee. I couldn't pick her up because I've had operations. I've still got the scars in I've still got the stitches in my belly button. They never took them out. I never went back. But yeah, you can't pick things. Even like a plate full of food, you don't realise how heavy it is. Because when it's full, you literally use like all of your muscles.
Yeah.
And also you have to be quite high on drugs all the time, which to begin with it really helps, and then after a while you just don't really feel it anymore, and then there's nowhere to turn. You can't. You're just in pain. So all of the operations and stuff that I had was.
Do you mean you become immune to the drugs then?
Yeah, you kind of get used to it. You know, like if you took like codeine every day, if someone's hurt their back, and then after like 6 months you don't, it was probably even less.
Yeah, well, it's the same with any.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just build an immunity to it, and then you fucking just got to deal with that pain, like you say.
Yeah. Then I had a few quite good years. Went to uni, stress free, jokes. And then I think it was last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. I was driving along and I just felt really weird, which I do in general. And then I just kept kicking my right foot. Like, you know when you drive you put your right foot on the brake but your left foot's on the clutch. I kept kicking my other foot and I just went really weird and just drove across the intersection, like 3 lanes of traffic. Luckily no one crashed into me, don't know how. This is why I'm the least lucky person. Well, I'm so lucky, like I'm literally invincible. It's nuts, isn't it?
I always say like a cat, don't I?
Yeah, like, how many lives do I have? I literally drove across 3 lanes of traffic with my child in the car. Absolutely fine. And then I thought, I'm not very well. Stupidly drove home. My friend was in the car, and then I wasn't making sense. So I was trying to lock the car with my house key, like scratching my car. And then by the time I got inside, I was like completely non-verbal. They called the ambulance, and then I got pre-let to hospital, and I had a clot in my brain. All I remember was being in A&E, and they were FaceTiming me, the consultant, because of COVID. So I had my whole consultancy on iPad, and I was like, hey, it's me, and my face was like, eh. But yeah, even that wasn't that stressful really. Because
do you think that because you work for the ambulance crew, do you think that even though this was happening to you, you deal with this sort of stuff?
No, I'm worse, way worse. Yeah, no, I hate it because I know what happens, and I know what I need. So for example, I had a clot in my brain. I know what medication I need. I know how quickly it has to happen. I know what could happen if they don't treat me quickly. And not being able to verbalise like that, that's quite stressful.
So did they give you any sort of understand as to how that all happened, how that came about?
It's a completely spontaneous clot, so it could have happened because I've had so many operations, scar tissue, and it's just spontaneous.
It was linked back to the cancer then?
Well, to operations. So any operation you have, you then create scar tissue, don't you? And it would have.
Difference between you had sort of the cancer. Did you get the all clear from the cancer?
Oh yeah, they literally cut it out. Everything was fine.
Okay.
It's been years, maybe 8 years later. And then everything changed after that. It's been ridiculous. I have, they diagnosed me with diabetes, which is naff. I nearly said shit, what am I allowed to say? It is so shit. It's so shit. If you see me on Instagram, all I do is snack, eat rubbish, love it. But you have to obviously limit it.
But you have to eat that for your... You've got that thing on your arm, don't you?
Yeah. It's an implant in my arm, so it continuously monitors my sugar. So I have to eat and eat and eat. And they said diabetes, you can't eat stuff, but then if I don't eat at least every 2 hours, I'll have a hypo. So hypos are when your blood sugars go low. If they go too low, you can be in a coma, have a seizure. Like, it's really scary. The amount of times that I've heard my alarm go off and I lie there at night and it's beeping and it sounds so sadistic, but like it'll go off after like the 3rd or 4th time in that night, and I lie there and think, I actually I can't, like I know what I have to do. Whether it's because my body is so low that I can't move, or whether it's just my brain thinking I can't be fucked anymore. You have like this weird minute, and I just think, like, what happens if I just don't drink the Lucozade? I think, I'll just give it a minute. I'll give it a minute. And then like I'll hear these little feet, and Maya will be like, Mum, I can hear your alarm going off, and she'll come in, give me Lucozade, give me biscuits. Then my mum, because I moved back home, obviously with all health stress and pressure, and then my mum come in with toast. And my stepdad would be like, do you want a cup of tea? And I'm like, oh, fucking hell. I'm just trying to die over here. I just want to die in peace. Like, literally, I just want to die in peace. But yeah,
does it get you down, clearly? Like,
oh, yeah, like, I'm even getting emotional talking about it. Like, it's so difficult to just, like, even go to work. I'm really, not obviously arrogant, I'm good at my job. Like, I am. I really want to do my job. I love it. But some days I think I don't want to go to work and save other people because I need to do it for myself. Like, I need to look after myself. And some days I go to work and I'll last 2 hours and I'll have like 2 hypos in the space of an hour. And my managers, they're amazing. They're so good. But they're like, go home. You can't.
You are very much naturally like that as a person, though. You'd rather put out everyone else's fires before your own anyway.
Most definitely. I would rather piss on anyone else to put them out than like conserve any for myself. Like it's just...
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I've always been like that. People always say like I'm really reckless, but it's like excited reckless. Like I really like... I think it's because I can deal with it. Like, I don't know. My dad died when I was quite young. That was shit.
How old was you?
I'd have been 19. But you
How
just
did
don't...
that affect you?
Well, I don't know how much to say, but I went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah.
so far back around the rails, I like made new train tracks around the world. Just went in circles for a few years. That was hard because I don't know. You don't really prepare yourself for.
Was it a shock?
So it was sudden. That was a sudden.
Not really. He was an alcoholic and he treated himself quite badly. So towards the end, I don't think he could really cope with it much more, and he just gave up. But I don't think anyone else was really ready for that. But mentally, for me, you just think, that's your dad, isn't it? Like you're a dad. I don't know if you're a dad. Are you dad? But like you just don't give up, do you?
No.
Even when you're at your lowest, and I know you well. Like you've been at your lowest. I've been at my lowest. Like so many times, I'd sit there. Even a minute ago, I said, I just want to die in peace. Like you just don't. You don't do it, do you?
No.
So I think I've always felt, I don't know, quite let down, really.
Do you still feel like that now, do you?
Oh yeah, that's what drives me. It's like my dad was a paramedic. Obviously, I work for the ambulance service, and it's like we're going in the same path, the same direction, but like I'm making my own footprints. I'm doing my own thing, but I'm doing it for him because I always think I wish someone helped him. I wish someone was there for him. Every patient I go to, I see it as my nan or my mum or my sister. I want to do it 100%, and I want to make sure I'm good at it. I wouldn't go to work hungover, or if I'm having a sad day, I just shut it off. I just do it. I just go, because I just always needed someone to be there for him. I guess I don't know.
Going back to your diabetes, now that's because they removes. Yeah, get comfy, girl.
I am. Sorry, it's very comfy in here.
Is that because they remove something that you're short of something?
They basically said that it was my pituitary gland originally that wasn't controlling my body. So every time I put something in, it was lowering my blood sugar. Then I had results back recently that said it's not my pituitary gland, it's this reactive hypoglycemia, which is basically caused by tiny little tumours anywhere in your body, but they don't know where they are. But they're not scary tumours, they're just like little growths, like, you know, when you get like, I don't know, a little lump somewhere. I don't know, I think it's so casual, isn't it? Like you get a little lump, it's fine, which is not. Always get it checked.
Yeah, always get your lumps checked.
But it could be somewhere like on my pancreas, which causes obviously insulin to be imbalanced. It could be literally anywhere. My hormones are mental. Like sometimes I'm like this and I'm happy. Like when I walked in, I'm like and then other times I'm like, I will hurt you. Like I'm so angry and full of like, I'm so like, aren't I? Just
very up or very low.
Yeah, and I'm not bipolar in any sense, but I'm just so like, I'm so full of like.
But that is all to do with your insulin levels, and
yeah, it's my sugar levels as well. I'll get so low and I'll be all like floppy and lovey and all caring, nice, and then I'll come up. Like I just had some Lucozade before I came in, so I thought, yes, I'll be awake, and I walked in like, hi everyone. That's just what I do. I'm just either.
I remember when you had the stroke. That was so scary.
I remember, like seeing you guys and saying that I'm okay, it's fine. And then I drove my car, this is not illegal, I was fully insured, the DVLA knew I was driving. But I came down here, didn't I? Disclaimer. Disclaimer.
To be fair, you wasn't in your right mind, you'd had a stroke.
Yeah, but disclaimer, it was legal. Yeah. I just wanted to see my friends, I wanted to see people I was close with. I lived in Ipswich, and I got released from hospital, and I just thought, I'm going to come down here. They were on a night out, and they were like, what are you doing here? Sam obviously wasn't happy at all. He was like, what the fuck are you doing? You nearly died.
I spoke to you on the phone and you sounded like Morse code because you couldn't talk properly.
I lost.
Just recently, who had a stroke.
Yeah.
And I did a welfare check on him, and I couldn't understand a word he was saying on the phone. And I got really quite upset. I was at work and I was just like, known the bloke since I started, and God, it was really hard. But then literally, this was about a month ago, I spoke to him again because he called in for just a check-in. And he's got all his speech back, and he sounded, and I was like, oh wow,
That's
that was
amazing.
it was such a big uplift. But yeah, I remember when it happened, that was tragic. Everyone was really sad.
Well, you had your stroke when I was in the midst of my wobble, didn't I?
Oh,
And you
my
rung me
gosh.
up to ask if I was all right.
I kept
She had a
thinking
stroke.
that. And I was like, I'm not taking the mick up anyone with stutters,
Yeah.
but this was fucking horrific. Like, I sounded ultimately special. I couldn't get anything out, and I was right-handed. I lost 5 motor skills in my right hand, so I couldn't write anything. I couldn't talk, and you see how much I talk. The internal turmoil that caused was magnificent.
How would work?
Work were amazing, so good. I work bank anyway, so I work when I want, really. But they called to check on me. Even now, like, if with my blood sugars, it's quite inconvenient for them. We're understaffed and under pressure. All of the qualified staff are leaving because it's too much pressure at the moment. New staff are coming, need training, need help, and I'm there like, I can't. I've got no blood sugar, and I can imagine they want to be like, just fuck off, it's you again. Like,
but even if you was at full health, the job you're in is like everyone's under so much pressure that would still cause you a lot of stress, doesn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. I think people don't. I know there was all this excitement when they put it on the TV, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's so cool to work for the ambulance service. And then with COVID, everyone's like, yay, let's clap. And I think, right, okay, so I'm not asking for support. I don't do it for support. I don't do it to be told well done on any level. But like, now there's no support. You just sit there thinking, like, this is when we need it. This is when we need help. We're going to people, like older people that have been on the floor for 11 hours. And I just walk in, I'm like, I just want to hug the shit out of you. Like, I'm so sorry. And you've got their daughter or son swearing at you. Where have you been? And you want to say, I've actually been to someone with a 2-year-old baby that's just died, or I've just been to a stabbing, or I've just done to this. But you can't disclose that.
Yeah.
But also, it's just as important to get to those people that are on the floor, because they need us too. But there isn't enough. There's not enough of us, and that's what I hate, because I'm such a helper. I'm such a people pleaser. I'm such a lick ass. It's basically a lick ass. I just like doing everything all the time.
But you can't physically be in 2 places at once, and that's what's needed at the minute.
Yeah,
really, isn't it?
It's just the stress of it and the pressure, really. And it's the stress and pressure that puts it on me and my body that can't really cope with it. So
I get the sense you wouldn't want it any other way, though.
Oh no, most definitely, I love it. I'm like that perfect storm. Like, storms are dangerous, but they're also like clearly humidity, and like they've got their good purposes as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
I guess.
So how do you cope with all the job that you do? It's quite a stressful job. You know, you made reference to a few sort of incidents that you go to, or examples, I think, that you go to on a shift. How do you deal with that?
Mostly like the crewmates that you work with and people that you're working with at the time and station and stuff. The managers are amazing. You can just walk in and be like, I've literally, the amount of times I've opened the door and gone, "Blah, blah, blah," for like 30 seconds, and be like, no, fine, see you later. And they're like, Jet, you okay? Down the corridor. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, it's fine. And I'll just go off to the next job, and they're like, okay, that's a bit much, but that's just kind of, I'm very like word vomit, and then I'm alright again. It's like a little cup, you just kind of chuck it over your shoulder, like, it's gone, right, okay, carry on. But then, long term, I don't know really what I do. I used to drink a lot and party a lot, didn't I? used to love a little party. Yeah, but then I suppose the party gets the better of you after a little time.
Especially with what you've got going on as well.
That's the thing, it's like, I'm no saint still now. Obviously I like a little drink every now and again, but I can't really use it as a coping mechanism like I used to before. I can't really rely
because if you have a drink, does your sugars spike all over the place, or can you use alcohol as your sugars to calm yourself down sometimes?
Yeah, it's quite bad. They say don't drink, but then if I drink something like a Disaronno full fat Coke, my body loves it. It's full of sugar, and you get a bit like, and when I'm happy, it's related to hormones really. If I'm happy, brain happy, no stress, no adrenaline, then my blood sugars are fine. If I'm aggy, get home, shouting at everyone, pissed off, like that kind of mood swing, adrenaline drops me anyway. So not like you use alcohol as a crutch, but if I want to have a drink, then I will. If I won't, then I don't. Like, even before now, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have a glass of wine because I'm so scared. I was like, no, I'm not going to go to Sam's house. You feel like you stink of wine. Like, oh, I'm scared. But I thought about it on the way here, and I thought something that so many people do so easily, what I normally would have done, I'm going to have a glass of wine to calm me down. I've just done it without a glass of wine. I think Like, it's actually really weird how you just...
And it's never as bad as what you make
You
it
don't
out to
need
be.
a replacement,
Does it? Yeah,
no.
Yeah. We always work ourselves up about something, and then when you're actually in that situation, it's never as bad as what you think. Yeah.
Your natural instincts kick in.
Yeah. Yes, my natural instincts kick in.
I'm a natural... I don't know. I don't believe in, like... You know when people say, manifest the good times, and like...
That's what I just
you know
said
how
to
many
you. You
times
seem to
people-
start manifesting
I
shit.
shouted him up the stairs. I was like, I don't fucking manifest things. Like,
Well, you're certainly manifesting some. But Jade just got here. This is you've just heard her story. The first thing she said to me, my car set on fire, and then I borrowed my mum's car and the radiator broke, so now I'm in my stepdad's van. That is your life in a nutshell.
honestly, and it's just literally like, and even then I pull up and then the handbrake's in a different place and then my bag falls off the seat and empties into the footwell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm afraid to stand. I'm like, hey. And then people are coming out the internet. And I'm like, why are the people everywhere? I'm just scooping my bag. I'm just like a mess.
I was considering doing this podcast at Jacksonite, so my house didn't set on fire when you got around.
I'm like an unlucky penny. But then I don't believe in manifestation. Like, I do believe I'm a good person. Like, I do believe I always mean well. Like, obviously we all have our bad side, but when
I
bad
believe
things
in that
happen,
manifestation stuff.
yeah, no, but this is why we're so dissimilar,
Yeah.
because to me it's like I can't sit there and say it's going to be okay, try and create this better life, because I know day after day this shit happens to me. Honestly, if I wrote your diary,
But if you started sitting there and thinking that, perhaps it wouldn't. Do you know what
I don't know, I think I'd get really disappointed. I think that's when I'd start to cry about life.
It's all about mindset.
I
You
don't
just
know
got to
how I
switch
feel
it.
about manifestation, because I think I was in a really good place in my life, and then it just got flipped on its head and it all went to shit.
Yeah, but sometimes bad things happen. You don't necessarily. I just believe you can manifest good things into your life.
Yeah, but instead of manifesting, you should just believe in yourself, and that's what I do. Like,
Well, I think that's a big part of it as well. But
I just believe in me, and if I need to do what I need to do, or just do it, rather than sit there and think,
Well, I've done manifestation, like meditation before, and I've been thinking of stuff I've wanted, and it's happened like quickly. and then I think, that's just a coincidence, and then I've done it again, it's happened again.
He looks
I'm
around for the
like,
camera, like,
yeah.
am I? What film was that? You look around, like, am I being filmed?
Yeah, but I do generally think as well, if you get on a positive like steamroller, then things start happening all at once.
That's also what makes me think about work and stuff. Now you said that, like, you know, when people say, positive vibes only, and all of that stuff, and you think, actually, no, like, yes, there is positivity, and yes, it's important, but people are so easy to dismiss the negativity.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, shit, my car just set fire. Should cry about it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, right, okay, what I'm going to do now, and I just do it.
Yeah.
Obviously I procrastinate like shit, I'm worse.
Yeah.
I'll literally go home, have a 20-minute stress nap, and then do it. But people just block out all the negative things and make it out like, why has it happened to me? It's always happening to me. And like,
Shit happens.
it does, and people get shit on all the time. Just buy a raincoat, put up an umbrella, and just walk through the storm, and just carry on getting shit on. Yeah.
But the thing is, one negative thing can happen to every individual in one day, and 5 positive things. But as humans, we're wired to focus completely on the negative thing, and that's what I try and train my brain to do now. In the first thing in the morning, and last thing before I go to bed.
Yeah, that's
just think
good.
about the positive stuff instead of the negative.
But then it's also about...
I can't bloody sleep if I think about the bad stuff.
There's resilience as well, isn't it? I saw
Have you been doing this before then? I've only just found this out. All I ever used to do was think about the negative.
No.
You can't sleep.
Yeah.
But then it's also good to
That's why I'm
think
drunk.
about it, write a list, like, yes, my car set fire, so I'm like, right, I need to start this, start this, start this. Think about it, get it on paper, bam, you should see my notes on my phone. Mental. It's almost like...
I know how you text.
Psychiatric
Do you-
ward, just all written a little bit of paper and just filled up my phone.
I can imagine how you write your notes, because if Marika texts you, you can tell it's Marika because your phone will go ping, 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 ping. She can never write anything in one text. It'll
It's
be
like I can't
15,000 little texts. It's how you speak,
That
really,
is.
isn't it?
I have to breathe in between. I talk a lot, don't I? Like when I first came in, you were like, do you want a glass of water? I was like, no, I'm always like this, it's fine. It's just, I'm just like, do you know what? I'm the most annoyingly happy person that you'll ever meet, and it's so irritating, but you learn to love it, don't you?
Yes, you do, yes.
Do you really?
Yes.
Love me. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
What's next then with this?
Hopefully not a heart attack.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I haven't done that yet, that would be good.
Oh God, don't say that.
No, I'm joking.
But,
What's next
but
with...
your diabetes or whatever.
This is what I'm talking about, my luck. I was supposed to go in for a 3-day stay in hospital last week. They fast you, do like cortisol,
So you still very much kind of coming to grips with
there's
how to manage
loads.
it?
Yeah.
But is there a way out of it, or are you always going to have this thing now?
This is forever.
Yeah.
But the worst thing is this implant in my arm. It's called a Libra. It like monitors my glucose continuously. Because I don't have diagnosed type 1 diabetes, I have to pay for it, and it's £58 every single time, and I have to change it every 2 weeks.
Jesus.
So I have to pay for that out of my own money. Bearing in mind I'm off sick all the time. I'm bank. I barely work, so money is quite difficult.
What happens if you can't?
If I told
it?
you, I was just about to say, I haven't. This is in my arm purely because my mum's going to hate me. Just show her that I've got it in. But this, if I show you, magic trick. If I ask my phone to sense how much my glucose is, it will say, "There's no glucose. I've got no monitor in my arm." Because it ran out 3 days ago. Like, that's the level of stress that I have in my life. Is that?
Well, so you can't check your glucose.
My sensors ended, and it ended 3 days ago. Because I literally can't afford to get.
What? So you have to top it up like a mobile or something?
No, I just take it out and then put a new one in.
Really?
And if you put it in wrong, you have to literally take it out. It's gone in the bin, and it's $57.99 every single time.
Well, you're playing Russian roulette a little bit.
I am, but that's also my personality. I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine because I never used to have one.
We're gonna fall out again
But
now,
then,
live on a podcast.
No, I'm just trying to say, like, even trying to benefit yourself, even trying to like do the right thing and have the best monitoring and eating right and being happy, and it doesn't make a difference. Like, I've been fine the last 2 days without it, and that's like my manifestation of myself. Like, don't get me wrong, I go to bed thinking, oh shit, it's a bit risky, but I just eat a bit of toast, and then I have to set my alarm every 2 hours, and then I'm like, maybe I'll have a Nutella now because I had Marmite last time. Like, you just mix it up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and just hope
it's like living on the edge. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
But then that's what I'm like. I've got so much support. Like, my family is so supportive. Like I said, Maya, my mum, my partner. Like, I've got so much support. It's ridiculous. But then it takes it away from me, not in a selfish way, but it doesn't matter how much support you have. You have to have like a good place to live in your own head. You need to have a safe and healthy and happy mindset, because if you don't, I'm not being arrogant, but it is about me. Like, I could have all the support in the world, I could still turn around and be too stressed to kill myself, or someone could have no support and still live their best life. Like, it's all about your mindset and your happiness and safety in your own place to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's how I get through, because I've just created this little, it's a bit weird at times, but my little bubble, and I'm just
make it work for you.
Hopes for the future.
I don't know. Just got to get through this week, to be honest. What day is it? Wednesday? Thursday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Hump day. I'm just going to sail down the other side of this hump day and hopefully make it a weekend.
Is that how you do things, one day at a time?
I literally have to, because like I said, I had the plans to go into hospital last week, then my tooth cracked, then I got an infection. Listen to this. The infection went to my my saliva ducts, all into my eye, into my sinuses. That's why I'm still a bit...
I saw the picture.
You know the Grinch, Cindy Lou Who?
I saw the picture you put on your socials. Your face looked like it looked like a tennis ball was out the side of your face. And do you know what? I looked at that and I just thought, it's another Marika
day. People don't believe it, and that's sometimes when people say, "Oh, do you document things for a sob story?" And I'm like, I'm just showing you that, like,
who says that?
People were mean. People really mean. You just see my responses, but obviously I'm a lovely lady. I don't respond horribly. But people are horrible. Like, oh, sob story again. I'm like, I'm not. I'm saying it in a positive way. Like, with just a tooth infection, I've lost a week's worth of wages. I lost out on a really important hospital, my consultant, who I now have to wait another month to see him.
People get brave online. We've said that on there before, didn't we?
People don't think of the snowball repercussion, and especially saying things to me. Sometimes I lie there and think, nice try, because I'm quite mentally strong. I like to think I am, but like, I'm such a sap. Like, I'm so... Even today, I picked Maya up from school and there was an old man waiting to go in the co-op. And there was like loads of kids laughing at him, and I nearly got out of the car because I was like, fucking respect your elders. I'm so big on that. Or respect anyone. And then the lady came out of the shop and she's like, oh, I've told you, I'm not going to say his name, you can't come in here, you're banned. And he was like bent over, could barely walk, looked like he hadn't washed his clothes in days. Like, and you just think, he's like, I just need to get some milk. And she's like, no, you're not coming in, you're not coming in. And I was like, what do I do? Sounded Jade. Just gonna go get some milk. Like, just give him some fucking milk. Like, in my head, it's such an easy fix. So I fixed it, solution, done. Man has his milk. Then you find out that this man is actually well known for perving on school children, of which I've just picked my 12-year-old daughter up from school, and I think, Jade, sometimes you just need to rein in the love, because I'm out here loving everyone 100%, and realistically...
Can't save everyone.
Yeah. So
You can't
I am a
save
bit
everyone.
No, but what
So that was something I had to learn as well. My job.
That's my-
You can't save everyone. You can't solve every problem.
yeah, that's my
There's
worst.
some people will take the piss massively.
And I feel like I've tried to learn that. I'm still not there, that you can't save everyone, but like my mindset with work or friends, I'm like, I can't save everyone, but I'm going to save this one person here. And then unfortunately in my brain, the next time I justify it by like, oh no, I'm not saving everyone, I'm just saving this one person. But then I do it over and over again, and it just scatters a little bit, I guess.
But when you hear it all together as well, it's like, oh fucking hell, you have actually been through so much. So
It is strange, like some people say like how
I didn't know that about your dad either. I didn't know
Yeah, that was-
Well, we've never had that conversation, which
I don't
is
talk
weird.
to anyone. But it was 15 years ago on Sunday. I don't talk to anyone. I'm quite distant with his side of the family because of that closed off mentality. I'm distant with my own family about it.
Yeah.
It's just my pain, and I'm so here every day dealing with everyone else's pain, and I'm here for it. When it comes to my pain, I'm like, that's mine. And I'm not very good. But recently I've learned through being more unwell the last few months, it's taken its toll. I figured out that like every time I go and help someone and I'm sitting there and I'm holding their hand, and I go, oh, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, and like it makes me sad to think of how long it's taken me to realise, but like I sit there holding their hand and I'm like, holy fuck, do you know what's really funny, like they're actually holding my hand as well. And that's what you don't realise, like I go there to do you good and help you, and I'm holding your hand feeling better, but then you spin the table round and they're sitting around holding your hand, like it's doing you good as well.
Yeah.
And it's really important to, if you can't talk about it, just get a little sentence out. You don't have to do what I do and like speed talk.
Have with all this that's gone on with your dad from a young age, all your health issues and everything, have you ever suffered with depression or any anxieties?
No,
or like that?
I'm the opposite. I don't have anxiety. I'm not really depressed. I'm like, I go like full cycle
The other way.
I'm like neurotic, hyper.
Have you
I'll
never
fix
ever
it, I'll
come?
solve
You've
it.
never come right down then.
Not really.
No.
That's my worst quality. Like I wish sometimes, like some things have happened and I don't want to talk about too much about it, but some things have happened and I'll stand there and I'll be like just fucking cry, and I'll just be like, just get it out. But you become so numb to so many things over and over again. Like my car blew up and I was like, my fucking
You're
car's
just
on
used
fire.
to it now, like you sort of expect it in a way.
So, I mean, we've spoken about that numbness before, just the things that,
because
ridiculous things that happen, and
because like in the job he does, there's some shit that goes on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what, but and he'll be telling me a story, and I'll just be looking at him like, well, how the fuck are you saying it so like calmly? And he'll look at me like, what?
You build that numbness to it, and then there comes a point where you have to go, actually, I need to kind of just like.
I need to feel
a
little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of this.
I'm quite lucky, obviously, in the ambulance service. I'm not that high up, so there's a million higher up people. So when we get a job that's really significant, obviously they send the best resources to it. But being so stretched at the moment, they'll send whoever they can. So the stress and pressure is a lot for us. I'm quite good with it because it's me. I'm a bit just do what I do. But it's afterwards I find it disrespectful almost to be upset. So say if we went to an older lady, cardiac arrest, and they passed away, you can't sit there crying because it's not my nan. I find it disrespectful. I'm not going to go home and cry about it because it's not my pain to be felt, and I'm so closed off.
Have you always been like that?
Yeah, this is my pain, that's your pain, like, I'll help you, but if you sat here and we had a good conversation and you start crying, I'm not going to be like, oh.
Yeah, that's why I'd be terrible in the ambulance, because
You would just cry.
I'd cry. Why? Don't leave us.
Come back, Jack.
Come back, Jack. Sounded like Titanic.
Yeah, that's what I was going with, and then I realised he was called Jack, and I was like, wait a minute, this is weird now. Sorry.
There was something else I was going to ask you as well. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it too much, but there's so much strain. When I worked at my last place in Essex, a bloke was collapsed on the floor and he was in agony. And
I remember I think I remember you telling me about this.
He was in agony, and I thought he was having a heart attack. I still to this day don't know what happened to the bloke, but an ambulance never come for him. And they had to throw him, as you shouldn't. I'm not laughing.
I didn't mean to laugh.
No, I mean I'm not laughing.
That was a cough.
Yeah, but they threw him on the back of his work van in the end, like with the hedge trimmer thing, and they had to take him to the hospital because there is no ambulances. That's not their fault, because there's not enough people. Do you know what I mean? I'm
swaying two sides of it. One side is people ring an ambulance all the fucking time for absolutely everything. Like if it's walking wounded, go back to like military days. If you've been shot on the leg, do you know what you do to get off that front line? You fucking hop. You get a piggyback. You get there. If you can, good job. If you're lying there, but then there's the flip side of it, like the older ladies, the older men that are in care homes that have been waiting, that have hit their head, that are on blood thinners, and they're sitting there waiting for an ambulance, and they think they're not. It makes me. This is why I'm angry, because I go to jobs like this, which we could have fixed very quickly.
Yeah.
And then by the time we get there and take them to hospital, it's a completely different story. Like falls, we have to take. If they're on the floor longer than 4 hours, we have to take them in because your kidneys start to shut down, etc. So we have to take them in. So if I'd have been there within an hour, bam, come on Doris, get up, lovely, give her a hug, make her a cup of tea, on our way. That's great. But instead we're getting there 6-8 hours later, we're then taking poorly people to hospital that shouldn't have never been poorly, because some man down the road was playing with a hammer and he banged his hammer on his finger and he said, oh, it hasn't stopped bleeding. We walk through the door and they say, oh, it's funny that because it's just stopped bleeding. You think, but because we've made contact, we have to. But because they've told the call handler there's a massive external hemorrhage coming out of the end of his hand,
you have to go.
We have to go, and we can't walk in and say you're a dick, because obviously I care for all my patients. But it is that level of people are just using the service for the wrong things.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you've had a cough for 2 weeks. I'm really sad about that. Ring your GP. I'm not a doctor. I'm nowhere near qualified enough to be a doctor. Yet we're going out and dealing with those cases that should go to doctors, and then I'm sitting there having these conversations when they should go to a GP. And then we've got people down the road more, seizures, heart attacks, really important people.
Yeah, my granddad had a stroke out in Campsie Ash, and he had to wait like 7 hours because
how nuts is that? That's mental.
That's crazy. And then you think it's because someone's pumped their thumb with a hammer and they're in an ambulance. But that just doesn't make any sense, does it?
It's not the call handler's fault as such, because they're not qualified. So if they were qualified, it'd be really good, because then they could obviously categorise the calls better. But then if they were qualified, we need them on the road. So really, there's no way of doing it.
It's not just the ambulance staff as well, though. Like, you're understaffed. There's no chefs anywhere at the minute. The whole country seems to be understaffed.
It's because you keep getting COVID.
We're still doing bloody isolation as well. My work.
But there's no staff for anywhere at the minute. Why is that?
We're struggling. We're really struggling.
Why?
Not as bad where I am, but other nicks, they are really struggling.
Yeah, but the whole country's understaffed, and I just don't. There must be a reason for it.
Yeah, no, there's a million reasons to everything. This is why I don't overthink and manifest in stress, because if I sat here and started talking and thinking about the reason why the world is understaffed, I would have a fucking meltdown.
Yeah, good point. Don't have one of them.
A couple of blessings. I'm in a position.
That's the better way.
I'm in a good wage. Yeah. I'm in a solid position. That's permanent. Nothing's changing. I actually see it as quite exciting. I've said it. A lot of my governors higher up say they see it as quite a stressful thing. We're understaffed. What are we going to do? I'm so casual about it. It is what it is. That's more fun, really.
Yeah, but that's a leader mentality, though, isn't it?
You run things when you're short on the ground and getting through a day by the skin of your teeth. I get quite excited by that. I think that's.
Yeah, you're a bit weird though.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. You need to just.
I'm weird.
Yeah, well, you're fucking definitely weird.
Yeah. You take the shine off me. It's quite nice. Over here in the same corner. About mental health at the moment, especially with men, I've done courses additionally to support the qualifications that I have, because I really feel strongly about mental health, especially in men. And like just this week alone, there's been 3 men in our area that I know of that have committed suicide, and it's actually not just a threat, it's not just a cry for help, it's not just mental health crisis, it's actual life or death. People are dying, and I don't think people, even us 3 in this room, like the statistics, like one of us, imagine that, like that doesn't make sense, like it's fucking nuts. People aren't leaning on each other, supporting each other. I don't know, I think that's what my point of coming today was, to be like, yes, I've been through shit, but that's my shit. I'm not going to trouble other people with it. And people say, oh, how are you still standing? And I'm like, well, 1 minute I'm not, and the next minute I'm dancing. Like that's literally my life motto. 1 minute I'm fucking don't know how I'm doing it. I'm sitting there blinking at my ceiling, and the next minute I'm like, I hear a little humming in my head. I'm like, I love that song. And then I'm about, like, and that's how people should use that energy to help other people, because I see what goes on behind closed doors in my job, but some people don't, and you don't realise how much effect you have on other people. Just if you don't want to talk, if you're not a talker, just be like, you're right, that's it. Like, you don't have to sit there and be like, how are you feeling today? Do you want to talk about killing yourself? Like, it's not that deep. You just have to be a nice person.
Do you know what's scary as well? Like, there's always been a massive number of guys that have took their own lives, and I think for years it was 75% was men, and over the last year and a half, I think it is, the number hasn't changed much from men, but there's been a big increase in women taking their lives as well, which is scary.
It's horrible. I think if I had worked full time, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but like that there is a significant amount of calls that I go to. Thankfully, there are people calling for help, because unfortunately there's not enough crisis teams about to support mental health. But there are people that I go to that it is too late, and you just think, fucking hell, like, where was your brother, where was your mum, where was anyone, where was your neighbour? I would, if I was feeling like that, knock next door and say, look, but then the mentality, everyone's so pro putting on their Facebook and Instagram, oh yay, mental health, but realistically they're not fucking there for anyone. All those people that promote it, that talk, not you. I love you guys. There are some people that say they're there and they're not, and it's so scary. Luckily, I'm thankful that I'm not in that position where I feel like that, but I'm so fearful. I think that's what stops me getting that way, because I know you'll be alone.
I think it's contagious, a bit like a virus. There's so much fear put into the world which causes anxiety, and when someone's mother or dad is anxious, it's only going to add on to the kids and stuff and that as well. And I generally believe that our media has a lot to answer for when it comes.
Terrible.
It is just poison. Put input, and the first thing in the morning when people are watching the news and that, it's scaremongering, and that has a ripple effect through people's houses, which is then taken into people's works and schools.
That's true. But the first thing you do when you wake up, you roll over, you pick up your phone.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I'm not saying I'm okay to do it because I'm mentally strong-minded, but even it affects me. Like, I'm not an ugly girl. I'm not saying I'm a 10 out of 10. But even I look through Instagram and think, oh, fucking hell, like, I need to do my eyebrows. I need to do my roots. Like, even mental health with regards to image. And
it's a tough world we're in at the moment. And I think, especially with a lot of the ones that I deal with in my work, who they make claims or they make attempts or they self-harm or things like that. A lot of it comes to a lack of hope. That's what it always comes back to.
Yeah, it's different, I guess.
And I think with, especially individuals that you read about or you see things on the news, they get to a point where there's just this, they call it like the pit of despair. You know, and they sink so low that they don't see any way of actually getting out of it. And that lack of hope then leads into doing what they do. But it's very sad. And I know people that have done it. I've witnessed it within my work as well.
I suppose so.
And it's incredibly sad right now.
I think
that's why I love our platform, that we try and put, and you do as well. We put positive stuff up.
I'm annoying.
And I think
it's
not annoying. It's positive, and that's what I think that the people should use their platforms for, not get too dragged into anything. I've done it. I got dragged into the hype and shit before. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I stand by the fact if you don't like someone or you don't like what they're posting or what they're putting out,
don't watch it.
No, but I'm talking about the news and everything. And that's what I do with the news now. I just turn it off because.
Something more positive.
Because you only need to hear a headline once to get it. Do you know what I mean? You don't need it drilled into you 50,000 times, like, and constant all day, all night. That's no good for
and
no
also,
anyone.
who are we to like determine like what is right and wrong anyway? That's really gets me is when people say, don't do this, don't do that. I'm grateful for your opinion. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm not a cunt. I'm not like that. But like,
you just said the C word.
I did. I promised.
We've had some debates through.
I'm so sorry. Hi, my name is Marika, and I am a bad person.
No, me and Marika disagreed on certain views, but that was when my mental health was at its worst.
But also disagreements were set. Like, you believe in this, I believe in that. You weren't like, oh, I hate you, I'm never talking to you again. It's just being a grown up and saying, if you want to think that,
and that's a grown up.
Yeah,
a lot.
and that's another thing.
Different views.
Just because I think something doesn't mean what I think is right
No,
either, and
it doesn't
I
mean
know
it's
that.
wrong.
I know that, but I did used to get triggered a little bit.
You did used to get a little bit antsy.
Because I used to be, you don't see my inbox, people messaging me constantly, man.
Yeah,
like,
I can understand.
Well, I was doing the dips and people were going, "You can't say that. You're doing mental health." I'm like, what's that got to do with my opinion? You know what I mean? You said that to me once.
He's quoting me. That was me.
Loads of people said it. I said something, I can't remember what I said, and
But in
I
my
got
head,
loads of shit.
Your opinion's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's just not my opinion.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
And that's what.
Let it go.
Yeah, and I
Fine.
think that's what a lot of people have got to get to the point.
And I think that's just there's a point. Everyone comes to a point in their life. One of my mates, and he's told people that we're falling out, and I've heard people have come and told me they're like, "Oh, I heard you fell out with so and so." I'm like, I have not fallen out with them in the slightest. I love that person to bits. They're one of my best mates. If they feel that way, that's on them. I said, but I have no ill thought. we had a disagreement on something, but he was entitled to his opinion, and that was that.
I think that's because we're so entitled, all of us. We think we're right.
I'm so opinionated. I walk down the street and people's shoes make me angry, if not because they're ugly, because one side they crisscross the laces, the other side they loop them.
I hit my feet there when she said that.
I genuinely want to be like, oh, let me tie your shoelaces, but like, do you know what? They're walking with a smile on their face. Like in my head, I think, Jade, calm the fuck down. They're happy. Leave the shoelaces, and that's why I get. That's why I get by day-to-day life.
On that bombshell.
There's going to be an inspirational quote with your picture. Leave the shoelaces. They're happy.
If you're smiling, just crack on. You know.
Just to kind of cap it all off and finish off. What would you? I mean, you've given a lot of good advice to people listening, but if you could say one thing to anyone that's sort of struggling or have any of the same sort of experiences that you've been through, what bit of advice would you give to them?
In the least disrespectful and least arrogant way, I would say just do you and focus on you and create the mindset for yourself that is about you, and obviously be considerate of others, but if you make sure you're okay, you can be there for other people. Like if you think of an aeroplane, they say put your mask on first and then help others. It's like that in life. Just make sure you've got your shit together and then you can go around helping others. I'm talking about myself, I've just clicked. I was going to say don't scatty, run around helping everyone else and you're a mess. But yeah, do the opposite of what I'm doing, I guess. Just look after you, get it done. And then just be there for other people. Really.
I love that. That made me a little emotional. It's not like me to get emotional, is it?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, Marika. And thank you for everything you've done for Dare to Dip and as a friend on a personal
I'm still
note.
not coming to a dip again.
You're going in the water tomorrow.
Shall I?
Yeah. You have to once you've done the podcast.
If you get... No, I'm not going to do votes because you'll get them. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
Peace out!
Oh,